What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Like always, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, hit the notification bell, all that stuff. Today we're doing a quick book review over W.E.B. Griffin's Counterattack. It's the third book in the core novel of the core, corpse, core, whatever, tomato, tomato. This is the third book, though. Let's see. Yep, third book. I'll just make sure. Now, I did look up, I googled the cover art, and it said it was an uncredited artist as far as the cover design goes. I do love the cover, though, even though it's mostly text. What the image you do get is pretty awesome. So, I do enjoy that. I wish it would have been a little more image, a little less text, but that's fine. The book, 10 out of 10. It was awesome. Now that this is my 5th or 6th book by Griffin, and now I'm understanding his style of writing and what his books, how his books are going to flow. And what you got to know going into his books, at least the ones I've read so far, very character heavy, very dialogue driven, and not too much action. This book had like 10 pages maybe of action, and the rest was just all setup and dialogue, and basically you're following Marines and different, the Navy as they're preparing for imminent full-scale war with Japan during World War II. And in this book particular, they're putting together basically like some type of unit to go over to Australia, help them out, and parachute onto some islands, to combat the Japanese and that stuff in that time during World War II. So that's the main, like, your antagonist and your protagonist, and you're just following your good guys in this book, and that's what I like about it the most. The best part I can explain about about W.E.B. Griffin's writing and these books, especially these novel of the core, is you feel like you're there. Every character, he does such a great job with his characters. You feel every character. The only characters that aren't like totally well done are the female characters. But hey, I wasn't alive in 1942, so I don't know how females acted around Marines and naval officers and stuff. Maybe they were like this. I don't know. I have nothing to compare it to. But if you're like I don't know how to explain it without offending everybody. If you're offended easily by things, then you probably shouldn't read his books, because they're a product of the time. This book came out in 1990, I believe, and I could see why some people, they're butthurt in the reviews, but for me, I'm not offended. I had a freaking great time. There was some parts that I'm like, okay, I can see how that's offensive. And, I have a dark sense of humor, so I'm just like reading it out loud to my wife and kind of laughing about it. Because, I don't get too serious often, besides that one video with executive orders and Tom Clancy. But that's rare, you know what I mean? W.B. Griffin's writing is, I've heard it described, and my wife read it to me again, as romance books for men. I don't know if that's quite the term I would use, but what I will say is, if you like character-driven books and lots of great dialogue, like, his work is fantastic. Like, his characters are just, they smoke Clancy's characters. And Clancy's my favorite author of all time. Y'all know this by now. But Clancy's characters just don't hold a candle to what you get with W.B.'s characters. He does such a great job with them. And so you get a lot of that in this book. And then from what I'm remembering, it's been since November of 2025, the beginning of November, when I read the first two in this series. And then I read the first two of the President Agency series or whatever. You can look them, they're on my channel, you can look them up. I read those two, and I remember not enjoying them as much as I've read those before, and I just didn't enjoy them as much as I remembered. But I think I gave them good reviews, because overall they're great books, but they're not as good as these. These are amazing, and I'm all into the World War II stuff now because of it. And the way he does his dialogue, it's so much dialogue. Like, you're getting almost 500 pages of dialogue. It's definitely helping me in my own writing, with dialogue. Like I'm seeing how I can do it now. It doesn't have to be all technical mumbo jumbo that, you know, a casual reader is going to stress out and having to stop and Google every 5 minutes because they don't know what the hell these people are talking about. He doesn't really do that. Some things get a little technical, but I would say that's maybe a tenth of the time. The rest of the time, these characters are just conversating, doing what they would do in their daily activities during this time frame or during this era, and, you know, navigating the terrors of World War II. That's what they're doing, and it just does such an amazing job bringing these characters to life. Like, they're popping off the pages at you, and you like all the characters, even his. If you look past his fascination with the boobs, and you get a great book. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're offended by an author, you know, appreciating a good set of boobs, then you're gonna just cry 1,000 tears and build a bridge of sorrow over those tears because you're offended by everything. But like I said, I am not. So this book does a great job, and it's out of the 3 I've read, it's by far the best one so far in the series, and I plan on completing this series. I may even squeeze in the next book after this one in a couple of days over the weekend and see if I can just smash through it in the weekend, because I'm just enjoying it, and I'm enjoying how it's motivating my own writing and influencing me and just getting me into World War II. Like, I'm like on the fence with kind of, you know, lightly studying World War II stuff after I've talked about this book a million times. Maybe I should just do a review on it. The Rise and the Fall of the Third Reich by, I don't remember who it's by, but it's a huge 1,500 page tome. It's like every last bit of information you could ever know about the Nazis. And it's all bad. It's terrible. You know, what they did was terrible. And it made me not even want to look at World War. What I'm saying is, it made me not want to look at World War II stuff anymore. So I got over it. But these books are bringing that like urge, that old man urge to get back into it. Like, if I wasn't like one of these people that just eats meat and drinks black coffee, I think I'd have a glass of scotch and a cigar, and I would just be watching World War II documentaries, like yelling at the kids, "Go sit down," you know, like that. But, you know, that's not what it is. But 10/10, the book was solid. My wife's somewhere behind me. I hear her like making a face like, "What is this guy going on about?" My next read, and I'm 61 pages into it already, is Star Trek Ishmael. And I'll say it in the review, you do not need to see the 60s show called Here Comes the Brides to know what's going on in this book. It's a fantastic book so far. It seems like a goofy little Spock lost in a Western world type thing so far, and I'm having a good time with it. But yeah, W.E.B. Griffin, Counterattack, third book in the novel of the Court. 10 out of 10. Freaking loved it. One of my favorite books of the month by far. So, you know, and this being my 5th or 6th book of him, 2 I've read twice already in my life, that being By Order of the President and The Hostage. I would think this guy is in the top 10 favorite authors, which I think that video could be coming in July or August. But that's the video today, guys. Like, subscribe, comment below, hit the notification bell.